Hello everybody and welcome back to another Inferno Squadron YouTube video. I'm Leader1 and today we're going to be talking about a topic that's, well, frankly, not too fun to talk about. Throughout the course of this video, I will be presenting arguments for both sides of the case of if EOT cheated or not, and in the end I'm going to let you decide if you think they cheated or not. So, let's start looking at some of the evidence. So the first thing that was suspicious was EOT insisting that they had to be the one that created this game. Eridani even suggested that a third party create the game so that we could make sure there was no cheating. Why would we expect cheating? First of all, the Inferno Squadron has been cheated against before in a clan war with LAF. In that clan war, LAF buffed certain ships in the game and completely wiped out the Inferno Squadron in 15 minutes. However, EOT refused to do this, and so we were finally forced to agree to have them host the game. So the first thing I would like to talk about is this pulse fighter attack we do on EOT. This attack starts out insanely well for us as we kill a ton of them without taking any casualties. I'll just let you watch how this battle goes. So this is when the pulse fighter battle really goes south for us. And the main reason for that is because of these missiles. So here we can see what the battle looks like before the missile hits, and here is what it looks like after. However, the thing is, missiles are super expensive. They're 250 credits per pack. And there was at least 2 ships who shut off missiles, so that's at least 500 gems out of EOT's credit pool. And now we come to the part of the battle that really destroyed us. EOT's mine laying. I'm going to let you sit back and watch the full clip before I start explaining things. I think you now see why we lost this battle. This attack by EOT was very unexpected and we were not prepared for it. Here you can see the first time they came and dropped mines at our base. I was able to count at least 5 mines here, so it means this guy had at least 2 stacks of greater mines. Again, this is a very unexpected tactic, but it worked very well for EOT. The unusual thing about their attack is that while one guy came and dropped mines at first, the other at least 3 or 4 circled the entire map to come from the opposite side. So instead of attacking all at one time, they split their forces, which is really unusual. This, of course, is the second mine assault they did in our base. I counted at least 32 mines in this space, and not including all the ones underneath these ships. There was at least 32. That means in this battle there was at least 10 packs of greater mines to this point, and for sure more, I just don't know how much. Here's another shot I got of underneath the guys that I couldn't count before. My best guess would be about 8. They're hiding about 8 greater mines, so that's another 2 packs. So that would be 12 packs in all. And here we see about a final 12 greater mines, bringing the total up to 15 packs at least. I'm sure there's got to be more out there too, but that's as much as I counted. So the total cost of this attack for EOT is over 3,000 credits. Add the missiles and you get a total cost of 3,500 credits for EOT throughout this entire point of the game. Here's what their station looks like about a minute after this battle is done and they've all left, which means of course they've had time to contribute. And this is what their gem total at this point in time equals. Now you might think then, isn't this possible for them to do the space attack? And the answer is, well, I'm not sure, because if you want to watch the recording again, you'll notice a couple things. First of all, at least one person launches off missiles again, which means they have spent at least 250 more credits on missiles. There is also multiple mining pods that are dropped, so that's 120. I saw at least 2. This means that even if EOT spread their credits around perfectly to allow everybody to get the perfect amount of mines, things still would have been really suspicious because the screenshot of their score was taken at least a minute after the base attack stopped, giving them a lot of time to contribute the gems that they had stolen from us. Which brings me to another really important point. Our entire clan throughout this VC was discussing how things really were not adding up and we were all very suspicious. And rightly so, as you've seen with the calculations. But I reassured them that things would be fine because we were going to see EOT's unedited footage. That's right, before the war, both IS and EOT had agreed to release their unedited footage of the battle after the games was done. Which of course we did, as you've seen in our last video. So I reassured my clan members that things were probably fine, we were probably just overcalculating things because we'll see their unedited footage afterward and we'll see how they didn't cheat. As you can see here is OMEP, our translator, talking to Darnite, their leader, in Turkish. If you're like me and can't understand this, OMEP kindly translated it for us. And so I asked Darnite after the battle to see this unedited footage. And here was my reply. So much for that hope. And this is really the big flag that raised my suspicions, because this was a key point that, as you can see, OMEP really pushed on, that we needed to get unedited footage. Without this lack of video evidence, I probably would have just assumed that they had performed really well and beaten us solidly. And I get it, there are ways to still cheat while recording raw footage, but this was the agreement that we had come to. And so I started investigating and asking sources about what really could have happened in this war. And well, here are the findings. About 2 minutes after their mine attack on our base, we were discussing in the voice call how we should proceed, because we were clearly not getting to the next tier because of all these mines, and as you'll see later on, actually a lot of our station was destroyed. So it was decided that we were going to do a final U-Sniper attack, because U-Sniper is a very strong attacker. And here is how that turned out. You of course can see the results of those battles are sad. It was our last shot to the game and we couldn't quite make it. We did have one final attack, but that was really just last resort, and this was when we lost the game. However, after watching these clips a couple times, I began to notice something that was really suspicious and was the reason why we lost this U-Sniper attack. I want you to watch the opponent's leaderboard here as I speed things up and watch their ships upgrade. In a matter of 5 minutes, they upgraded every single one of their tier 4s to a tier 6, and when we attacked them with U-Snipers, some of them were even pretty well upgraded. I also do want to show this little clip of our last battle with the U-Snipers with EOT. Again, this was like a last-ditch effort for us to get something done. You can see here that the Barracuda launches a torpedo at our players, and also proceeds to launch missiles at them. There are also mines dropped at this time too. What is my big point about this battle? My big point is actually huge, and something that I've been hiding for quite some time from everybody. This is information you've never heard before, so please pay close attention. We see in these clips that the Barracuda launches both a torpedo and multiple missiles at our players, as well as most likely dropping those mines. I'm not sure, but that would be my best guess. After the original mine attack on our base, which if it wasn't cheating, for sure took all of their credits out of their base, and our first U-Sniper attack, with which that Barracuda was launching missiles and rockets, it's pretty safe to say that his credit stash in the station was either depleted or fully gone from all of these activities. And this leads us to the point of how tier 4s mined all the way up to tier 6 and upgraded a bit in less than 5 minutes. There is only one logical way for this to happen, and that would be that the Barracuda would mine the tier 5s, and especially the Marauders, who are super bad at upgrading themselves, to be upgraded. However, at this point we can see he launches a 500 credit rocket and 250 credits worth of missiles. So I brought the dilemma to a source that I had to ask him what he thought of the battle. The first thing he pointed out was how a side fighter healer could barely even heal a fully upgraded Barracuda in time for it to mine this fast, and this was his point. The only way for these Marauders to be upgraded this fast for something on them to be buffed. This fact, and the fact of how the map is arranged as he points out, is what helped them mine so fast, and when we did our first U-Sniper attack, would help many of them to be upgraded. Here is what he actually thinks happened during this battle. Now of course, this is logical proof as to what may have happened, but do we actually have any video evidence? And my source provided the answer. And here is that clip. Now perhaps this isn't the strongest evidence out there, but it definitely does fit with my source's evidence. Couple that with the fact that we don't have any unedited footage from EOT, and this becomes a very serious topic. And finally, to wrap up this video, I want to show you one last piece of evidence. My source provided this piece of evidence that he had received from the leader of EOT as a final proof of why they may have been cheating. As you can see, the mod they are asking for has a lot to do with mines, which of course relates to our clan war. As I wrap up this video, I want to leave the answer up to you guys. I have shown you all the evidence I have gathered so far, and perhaps there's more about why EOT may have been cheating. However, is this enough to prove that they have? Please tell me in the comments what you think, and if there's any other evidence that you have seen proving either they are or are not cheating. Thank you everybody for watching, and please have a great day.